Good to see everybody this evening. I would like to call the June 13th, 2024 regular board meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. And if we could all stand, I'm going to lead us in invocation. Father, thank you for your love and your grace to us. Lord, thank you for our staff, our board, our students, everybody that makes this system what it is, Lord. And we've got so many things to celebrate, and we're grateful for that and the good things that you're doing. Lord, I pray you continue to give us wisdom, direction, understanding for how we can best lead and serve the students and parents in this community. And we ask that in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. Joe, if you will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank our greeters for tonight's meetings. We have Kenyon Petty, our principal from Harmony Elementary, and Scott Stevens, our principal from Tate Elementary. Thank you. The next item is approval of the agenda. Dr. Thomas, do you have any amendments to the agenda?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, very good. All right. Next is our recognitions, and I believe is that Mr. Parker, are you taking care of that?
Chairman Lau, let me just ask or mention a few things here. Over the course of 2024, we have been recognizing some of our students, some of our teachers, some of our support staff members with our Dragon Strong Awards, and tonight we're going to be recognizing two of our leaders. And so this time, Mr. Parker, how about introducing our two leaders, please?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Thomas. We got two leaders here. These were things were nominated by staff members of all types of staff members nominated, and we had a lot of good nominations, but we found two great winners. So first up, we have Miss Ann Long. Come on down, Ann. You got to come down here and talk about you. Miss Long, this is what people told us about Miss Long. Miss Long goes above and beyond in everything she does. She loves her school staff and students. Miss Long rolls up her sleeves and leads by example. Miss Long is respected. She's fair, consistent with students and teachers. She understands what teachers are experiencing in the classroom and provides encouragement and solid advice when needed. You know, this was one of the quotes we had was Miss Long is so much more than an assistant principal. Miss Long handles difficult behaviors with grace, support, and stands behind her staff, is in constant communication with parents, coordinates testing, is part of our Dibbles team, knows the names of all the students that walks the halls at Tate, and is one of the most kind and genuine people to work with. Throughout my time at Tate, I've watched Miss Long move from paraprofessional to assistant principal, and I cannot be prouder of her and her accomplishments to call her a colleague. She's a part of what makes Tate so special. So that's what they said about you, Miss Long. Very well deserved. Congratulations.
We're good. No, the board. Okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, the
Got
rest
it.
of the board. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Really been exciting this year. Been honored to work with all of our assistant principals and our principals and our district leaders, and we recognize the principals every month because they greet us. So we skipped you guys and went straight to the district office, where today we were going to recognize either principal or district office person, and we picked Kristy Bone because Kristy's retiring, right? Of course. There's other reasons. No, Kristy got the most votes. She really did. I don't know if they voted because you're retiring or not, but what they said Kristy seriously was that Kristy's always has what's best for students at the center of her decisions. Kristy communicates well with her staff. Everybody loves Kristy. Kristy's taught. Want to say Kristy's taught me so much about how to best serve students, and I'm so thankful to call Kristy my boss. Kristy's always helpful and friendly. She's more concerned about her team members' health and wellness than she is her own. Pickens will miss her after she retires. And I agree with that. I'll add my own quote. I think Kristy has been excellent to work with. She's always fair. Sometimes we disagree, and we always handle that in a way that's really helpful and makes things better. And really enjoy working with Kristy. She's been awesome and we are gonna miss her. So we'll miss you, Chris. Now you gotta come on down. We're not gonna make you cry. Come on.
I would say, she was my boss when I was working, and I was so, she just is phenomenal. She knows her stuff, and she loves the kids.
Sorry. Oh, yes. There we go. Not that dramatic.
Oh, did it?
Lay it on it.
I would like to add a thank you, a recognition. Officer Roach is here, and he's one of the favorites of all of our kids, that's for sure. But I appreciate all of the officers that come and attend our meetings every month. They are here to keep us safe, and I appreciate that so much. And I'm awfully glad you're here.
Thank you all for Now, I will remind you, we ran out of gift baskets. So you'll just have to take our thanks. Thank you, Dr. Thompson.
Hey, go back just a minute. We did not approve the agenda once we looked at it, so I actually need a motion to approve the agenda. Okay. Joe, Dave, Tommy, all right, all in favor? 4-0. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, next up, Dr. Thomas is the superintendent report, so I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll turn it over to our Chief Financial Officer, Amy Smith, who will give us a brief update on our school finance.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Way down here. And as Martha's got our general fund pulled up, revenue collected through the end of May 2024 was 88.28% of our budgeted revenue, and expenditures were at 77.94%. Don't get too excited about this, folks. We have 3 payrolls, 3 regular general fund payrolls, well, actually all funds payrolls, to come out this month. We pay July and August, and it gets backed into this year because it is paying the salaries for those people who are non-12 months for this fiscal year. Our consolidation of funds reflect expenditures through May, and our transfers have been made through April 24th. Of course, this runs on a several-week delay. We will have a final report on all of this that does show the zeroing out of this fund at year end. So we'll have that later in a few months from now. Debt service, of course, we have no debt. Capital outlay, SPLOST revenue for May 2024 was $740,425.19. Interest earned was $1,195.46. Expenditures totaled $602,140.22, and our month-end SPLOST balance May 31st was $14,370,061.37. Special revenue funds, we've collected 58.77% of our budgeted revenue and expended 87.18% of our budgeted expenditures. This one works the opposite way of all the rest. We spend the money first, then we get to ask for a reimbursement on those grant funds. To give you just a short update on Georgia Department of Audits, we had our exit interview a few weeks ago. Mr. Lau is required to be in attendance as our chair. Went very well. We actually had 2 audits at the same time. One is on our regular funds and one is on our SPLOST specifically, because we have revenue that exceeds $5 million per year. Both went very well. They looked at, just so you know how detailed it gets, out of our expenditures for SPLOST, they looked at over 95% of our packets, so 95% of the checks that we wrote out of that account. So it is a very extensive one. This is the first time Georgia Department of Audits and Accounts has done this one. And the quote I got, which they didn't exactly say in the meeting, was it was pretty darn near perfect. So I'm very proud of our people and everybody that had to do with putting those packets together and all the documentation. So it went great. You should get 2 separate audit reports that will come to you via email. It will probably still be, I've not gotten the final from the 3rd audit review yet. It will probably be 4 to 6 more weeks before you get it. I will let you know for sure when you should. and just make sure everybody does receive their copy. So, y'all have any questions?
Well, I just want to say, Amy, you do such a great job with this every year, year in and year out. I mean, there's never an issue with any of the audits. I know that going all the way back to when my wife served on the board. So thank you for your continued faithful service.
It is a team effort, but thank you very much.
At this time, we'll call up Mr. Chris Parker, our Assistant Superintendent. Mr. Parker will give us an update on our operations and construction.
All right, thank you, Dr. Thomas. So as part of strategic plan, goal area 4, organizational and operational effectiveness, we'll be as effective and efficient as we can with finances, like Amy just said, and with our operations. So that could be in the summer, it's a lot of new construction, a lot of renovation, it's everywhere for all schools. We're no different. So in an effort to try to be a little more, humorous in this time, I've got a top 10 list, So they're doing a lot. You say, what are you guys doing in operations? Doing a lot. In HR, we're doing a lot. We're hiring people. In operations, these guys have literally 100 things going on right now, maybe more, and we have them listed. But we picked out 10 because we can't pick out 100. Joe wouldn't like that. So I picked out 10. I'm gonna tell you. Number 1, the custodian transition and summer cleaning. So every summer, whether we're having custodians at ABM or here, every summer they get everything out of the room. They wax the floor. They put everything back in the room. If you go to the school, we were at the schools this week, stuff everywhere, right? And this year it's a little different because we're changing the custodian transition. So we've got ABM custodians here till June 30th. Our own custodians, many started on June 1st, so there's a month where we got both of them. That's happening now. On Friday, this past Friday, Jacob Poole set us up with Eco Lab, who's our floor wax distributor. Paid for lunch for the custodians and sat down and showed them how to use some of the equipment. So these are some of the pictures from that event. But the custodial transition is really going well. We have some good, hard-working people, and principals are doing a good job working with us. Jacob's doing a good job organizing them. It's going well, and that's what the floor. So the floor looks bad, but then they go and it looks like on the right. That's what Joe and I saw this week. It looks like it on the right there, but in the end, it looks like the other ones, and then you got to put everything back. So. A lot of work going on in the school this summer with our custodial group. Second thing, number 2, field house, Pickens High School. This will be for many athletic programs down at the field. You guys have seen this probably every month for a few months now, but we're getting close. They'll be finished by the time school starts, and they're on time. We're ready to go. So it's the inside. You can see the inside. We're getting paint soon. We're getting the ceiling. That stuff will move fast. I think electricity was getting installed today, as I understood right. High school remodel, this is phase 1. Now there's a 3-part phase to remodel the high school. After that, we can get into the elementary school. And every summer for the next several years, we're going to be remodeling the school. The high school will be at least in 2 parts and probably 3. But the first part is stuff you're not going to see as much if you come into the school. The kitchen is going to be awesome. The HVAC units are going to work. The roof's going to be not leak. It's going to be amazing. But that stuff doesn't get people commenting to you all as much as some of the others I know. And the floor and the ceilings and the paint and all that is going to be in the second phase. But the lunchroom is going to be this year. And you can see these are pictures of the lunchroom in the kitchen. You can see it looks different now, right? But next month we're going to show you one that's going to look pretty good. And they're going to be ready to go on August 1st with a new kitchen. Right, Beth? Yeah, look confident, Beth. And it's going to be exciting. But that's the part you're going to really be able to see this year. And then this time next year, you're going to be able to see the rest of the school looking kind of like what we did at junior high a few years ago. So this was the PJHS roof. Okay, so that's what it looked like. That's what it looks like now. So guys did a great job. Finley Roof did that for us. Jacob and Kristy facilitated it. Did a great job. The same company's doing the high school roof. That was one thing you guys voted on. So now they're at the high school. And they're actually moving pretty long at the high school, pretty good. But by the time next month, that's what the high school gym roof will look like. Cool sale at the ag facility is in. Talked to Todd Dobson last night. He was very thankful. He's excited. Halls can move in. They have a door. They're still having to order, but they said that's no problem apparently for them. So really good news on that. That facility for a junior high facility, I'll put it up against anywhere for being a great facility for the students. We're doing media center upgrades at Hill City, Harmony, and Jasper Middle. That's what the media center looks like when it's empty. That's at one of them, but they all look comparable. And we're getting there, right? So that's where we're getting now. So media center upgrades there, redoing the floor, redoing the lights, and the things that would happen in a remodel, but just doing the smaller rooms when we can over a summer. Tate's getting an HVAC project, and actually you would think, well, wow, that's not as exciting. You know, Tate's project's probably the more expensive of the elementary schools or the middle school right now, but the main building, the auditorium, and the lower building all get new HVAC units. Very much needed. Very much needed. So I only had a picture of Tate. I didn't want to put a picture of an HVAC unit, but trust me, it's happening. The transportation parking lot's getting resealed, and a bunch of cracks. It's getting restriped. Mr. Williams actually sent me a great picture up today after I'd already submitted this, where the bus driver, one of the things in our listening tours when Dr. Thompson and I went to every place in the district and talked to employees, when we went to transportation, one of the things they really wanted was to reseal the parking lot. The lines are kind of fading, and they do their training and how they park, and so it looks brand new right now. It looks great. In the same mode, the transportation center had been a mobile unit, a trailer that was used from a school from years and years ago, and we were able to take an existing part of the maintenance facility. We didn't build anything. We just took part of the maintenance facility and turned it into part of a training facility and turned the room. It's a pretty good sized room, probably about the size of this room, and able to put up 3 different projection screens. They can have small group training sessions or large. I put our transportation trainer center up against anybody's now. We went from having one of the rougher ones to probably one of the best. So next school year, that'll be fully functional. Playgrounds, you know, and outdoor areas. Hill City, Harmony, Tate, and Jasper are all getting either some playground upgrades or they're doing something in outdoor. I think Hill City and Jasper are getting like outdoor classrooms or outdoor, some kind of outdoor fencing, and Tate and Harmony got some different things on the playground. We did some drainage stuff at Harmony, and then Tate got some mulch. And so that's my top 10 list. There's a bunch more. I can keep going. You want to keep going? That's good. You seen enough?
That's great, thank you.
But we do have a lot of things, guys, and we got a good team of people working on this. I appreciate the solidarity of Mr. Williams and Mr. Poole showing up to support me in my first time talking about something I need some help with sometimes.
Should we be nervous? They're taking notes back there.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to look at them so I don't laugh. No, we got a good team. They're really doing a good job. So you guys have any questions for us?
I hear you have a kickball game.
We do have a kickball game on Saturday. If anybody married, we're looking for people. One of our board members won't play, so we need another kickball.
I think that's 5 of your board members.
4 of them. No, 4, because I think Steve's going to play. Yeah, it's a kickball tournament for the Chamber of Commerce, raising funds for Boys and Girls Club, hygiene products for kids. This is a good thing on Saturday, but yeah, I'm still holding out that Joe's going to play, so looking forward to it. You guys have any questions? You got anything, Dr. Thomas? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
At this time, we'll call up Ms. Beth Thompson, our Director of School Nutrition. Beth's going to provide a school nutrition update for us.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. We're the same height, that's good. All right, so Dr. Thomas asked me if I would speak to some of the questions that you all are getting from your constituents about meals and how can we serve meals free in the summertime, but when the school starts up, we have to charge again. And so I thought I would go ahead and start off tonight by explaining that. And the biggest thing that people don't realize, it's 2 separate programs. The Seamless Summer Program, which is how we provide meals in the summertime, that is through a different section of USDA than the National School Lunch and National School Program. And Summer School Food Service Program, they look at 3 criteria to try to determine if a site can serve meals free of charge to children 18 and under. And what they look at is area eligibility, 50% or more free and reduced. That's the first thing they look at. The next thing they look at is they have an eligibility map. It's called a USDA eligibility mapper. And it basically looks at census data to see where the low income areas are at. And then thirdly, they look at the schools. They look at our free and reduced numbers that we pull every October. It's called the FRL report. And any schools that are 50% or more free and reduced are eligible to serve meals at no cost. So that is how the summer meal program works. And that's why we're able to do that. and it's going very well. Then we switch gears over to the National School Lunch Program, and again, that's still with USDA, but in this program, it's a low cost or no cost program. It's not a all you can eat free buffet like summer feeding, okay? So what I wanted to kind of cover, I had a couple other things I wanted to cover, is another question is, and this came up I think the last couple of board meetings, but as you know, some of our neighboring districts, they will be eligible to offer meals at no cost to their kiddos next year. And the program module that they're going to be participating in is called CEP, which is Community Eligibility Provision, easy to say. And basically what this is a no-cost program. Everyone eats at no cost. Free and reduced applications are not collected. Instead, the determination is made based on directly certified percentages of students in the district. And a directly certified would be folks that are on food stamps, temporary assistance for needy families, TANF. It's even foster children, homeless, migrant. So, and the bogey there that you want to try to reach is at least 55 to 60% of your rate being directly certified. Our rate is between 46 to 48%, which would put us at being able to claim free meals for 76% of our kids. Gilmer County, in contrast, is over 67, 68% of their directly certified, and they're going to get actually over 100% reimbursement free meals for all their kiddos. So it is something that, and I've talked to Mr. Lowe about, it is something that I'm going to look at every month and monitor and just see what is that break-even point for us. Because if we can keep finding everybody out there who is eligible for directly certified, and again, with Medicaid being a program that we're directly certifying families with now, that added 20% to our amount this year. We went from 24, 25% DC last year to 46, 48% this year. So that was a huge jump. And I feel like if I can even get up to like 50, 52 maybe, I feel like I can make it work. Because here's the deal. You have to be able to make enough money in reimbursement back, because we're not getting any money from the paid students since nobody's paying for meals, right? So we have to get enough money back to cover the cost of the meal. And right now that's a shortfall. There's just not enough there. And when I say the cost of the meal, it's not just food, it's labor, it's overhead, it's everything. So that's kind of where we are, and I want to do everything I can to try to figure out a way that we can make it work, because I'd be the first in line to want to be able to do CEP, because it would take all the free reduced applications away, it would take the stigma away, everybody's on the same playing field, it would get rid of those charges that we don't like to talk about, so it would be a good thing. I also wanted to bring to your attention, there is another provision that's out there in addition to CEP. It's called Provision 2. And this is something I've also looked at, and in this one, it's a 4-year cycle. The first year is a base year, and in the base year, you still collect free and reduced applications, but you don't charge for meals. This would definitely not work for us for lunch, but for breakfast, there's a possibility that we might be able to do something with Provision 2, where we could actually do breakfast at no cost for kids during the base year. And then again, the way this works is that we have to have a high enough % of free and reduced eligibles participating at breakfast to get that claim. And then that base year, whatever that claim becomes, let's say it becomes 70% free, 20% reduced, 10% paid that are participating, then we take that and we can use that claim for the next 3 years. Whenever we submit, we don't have to do categorical anymore, because there won't be an application. So, but the problem with our current numbers right now, even though meals are free, kids still aren't eating. At breakfast for our district through April, of the free eligible, only 37% are participating at breakfast, and only 27% of the reduced eligible are eating at breakfast, and 19 of the paid eligible are eating at breakfast. So again, if we were going to look at Provision 2 seriously, what I would propose is possibly doing a pilot 1 week next year during National School Breakfast Week, and just declare breakfast is free for everybody and just see what happens. Because when we fed meals to students those 2 years after COVID at no cost, yes, our numbers went up drastically, but a lot of the free kids still didn't eat. I don't know if they just don't know, they're just timid, they're picky, I'm not really sure. But obviously they weren't as hungry as we thought they would be if they want to eat. So, but anyway, I'm willing to look at some of those kind of things. And so I am going to look at both our percentage of directly certified every month and just kind of see when I can get to that break-even point. And if we can get there, then I will submit for next year, you have to do it at the beginning of a school year, and it would be April's numbers that I would have to use to determine where we are. So I'm going to be looking at both of those kind of things, and we'll go from there. All right, so because we're still doing National School Lunch, we're still doing National School Breakfast, I'm bringing back after school snacks again. We'll be able to make those available to the schools so the kids can have those at no cost. I did also want to talk about meal prices. Our meal prices, we raised them up 25 cents last year, and I did that to try to help close the gap. There is something called paid lunch equity that USDA requires us to set the, I'm too close. Anyway, USDA requires us to set the paid student meal price to be, the price should be the difference between the free reimbursement and a paid reimbursement that we get. And that figure right now this year is $3.85. We're not anywhere close. Our meal price is $2.70 at the high school, and that's the highest. And our bogey is $3.85. The reason we're not that high is because we've had a positive fund balance for the last 10 years. Be 10 years for me, July 1, by the way. Anyway, so we've had a positive fund balance, and because of that, I've been able to get a waiver to not have to raise the meal price. And I've decided this year that I know everything's going to go up. Inflation is still very much alive and well. A lot of things are coming down. Food is not one of them, and I know it's going to be tough. But I also feel confident in our budget that I can absorb not raising the price for our families this year. And let's just use this year as a year to see, can we become eligible for any of these other provisions, and then go from there. So as long as they're going to let me have a waiver, and I have a positive fund balance that I need to work down. And why do I have such a positive fund balance? Well, because we keep getting grants, and I mean, I'm winning some stuff, you know, and then the supply chain grants and such come. So I'm not complaining, but every year, the last 2 years, I've submitted my budget with a $200,000 or $300,000 shortfall on purpose, and then we get more money that comes back, and it's like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be losing money here. So, but anyway, I'm working on it for that as well. So I'm not going to raise prices for the students for lunch or breakfast, but I will have to raise prices for adults. And again, the adult price should be at least the value of that free reimbursement plus what we get in commodities. And so I'm going to have to raise the prices for adults to do that. And I do get audits on that, and they'll look at me, and I will get dinged if I don't charge enough. So I will do that. Okay. And lastly is I'm here to talk about our district wellness policy, just so that it's out there and it's public for everyone to hear. But annually, each of our schools is required to develop their plan for implementing the goals of our wellness policy, and they, utilize the wellness regulation to see what the goals are. So I've been kind of, elected as a district designee years ago to monitor the compliance of how the schools are doing on the wellness policy. So I've done that. I annually check the data. This year we were also required to do our triennial assessment. So it's obviously something that's required every 3 years, and this was year 3 for us. So I've gone ahead and done that and looked at our compliance with the district policy by all of our schools. I looked at our progress made in attaining the goals of the wellness policy, and then I also have to look at how does our wellness policy compare to the, quote, standard model of a wellness policy. So I've done all that, and just really briefly, I found that all of our schools met at least 2 of the 3 required goals that are in our policy. So we have a little bit more work to do. Really, their biggest area, and it's a tough one, is just we have to all be on the same page to ensure that we promote or sell or give students food and beverages that meet SMART snacks. So we're not 100% there because we're still doing things that don't meet it. So that's something we have to work on. Anyway, the report will be posted on the website by the end of the month, so for the public to see. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you. That's a lot. Thank you.
It was a lot, I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Were you planning on playing in that kickball?
What time is it? Because I have a hair plan. I love
Beth, thank you so much.
Hey, what time is it, seriously?
Thank you so much. We know how hard you work, and we didn't mean to put you on the spot. We just knew you could explain the various grants so much better than we could individually to.
Well, did that help? Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, I try not to be too technical because you can really go down the rabbit hole if you want to.
No,
So.
that's
Did a
great.
good job, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Mr. Lau, just a couple other announcements I have, just some superintendent comments for today's board meeting. We did conclude our summer school program, Dragon Days, today at the junior high. We had this opportunity for rising first graders through rising sixth graders, and our kids participated daily in 5 different sessions, which included STEAM, team building, physical education, electronics and robotics, art, and math fun. We had 125 students who registered for this event that lasted 2 weeks, and I do want to say thank you to Southern Outdoor Solutions. They provided Kona Ice today for our kids and our teachers who work there, so thank you to Southern Outdoor Solutions. We also got news today that our strategic waiver contract was officially accepted by our State Board of Education. This is a 6-year contract, and we submitted our application in the spring, and the strategic waiver systems, or that contract, gives us more flexibility with waivers of certain rules and guidelines in exchange for greater accountability for increased student achievement. So grateful that our hard work and our contract have been approved. And then the last thing I have, we did recently hold graduation. Congratulations to Mr. Matt Combs, our principal of Pickens High School, for conducting his first graduation and doing it well. Yes. Fortunately, Mother Nature cooperated, and the skies cleared late in the afternoon, and had a really good evening and a celebration for our seniors and their families that date in May. Some upcoming dates for July: we will have our district office and schools closed the first week of July, July 4th week. We'll have our July work session on July the 9th, and then the second public budget hearing will be 2 days later on July 11th, which we will follow that with our regular board meeting for the month. Thank you, Chairman.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Okay, we'll move to our action items now. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel action report as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Mr. Gartrell. Any discussion? All in favor? 4-0. Okay, Dr. Thomas, we're going to approve our salary schedules, and I think maybe you've got some information you can share about that.
I'll be happy to, thank you. Yes, I just want to point out that our salary schedules for the next fiscal year, it does reflect an additional step increase in our salary steps. So we are moving from topping out at 23 years to now 25 years of service. That's a really big deal for our employees and for our people. This also reflects the increase from our local supplement from 11% to 12%. And in addition, this also reflects the $2,500 raise that Governor Kemp had authorized for our certified folks beginning on July 1st. And it also includes our classified staff, who will receive at least a 3% increase in pay. And so I want to say thank you to the board. Our board has committed to increasing the salaries for our people, and I believe you are to be commended for recognizing the need to recruit good people and also retain our good people. So thank you very much for your commitment to that, and excited about what this means for our people. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve the FY25 salary schedule as presented?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 4-0. Okay, got an approval of request for revision of policy GARHB paid parental leave. Upon approval, this policy will be available for public review until the next regular board meeting on July 11th, 2024. Final approval will be requested on July 11th. So, and Dr. Thomas, you shared with us, that just means the state has mandated that parental leave approval move from 3 to 6 weeks.
That's right.
Is that right? Okay. So we're just coming in compliance with that. It'll be available. So do I have a motion to approve the revision request of policy GARHB, paid parental leave, as presented? Joe Weedington. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Cottrell. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 4-0. Okay. And we have an approval of an FY24 budget amendment that Amy presented to all of us. Do I have a motion to approve the FY24 budget amendment as presented?
I move that we approve the budget amendment.
Okay. Ms. Finley?
Second.
Tommy? Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 4-0. Okay. All right. And then we have an approval of an FY fiscal year 25 spending resolution. We're still finalizing the budget, so we need a spending resolution. Do I have a motion to approve the FY25 spending resolution as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? 4-0. All right. All right. So we're down to the consent agenda now. So we had several items on the consent agenda which are shown. It's our financial reports, some MOUs with different schools, our textbook adoption for this year, minutes from previous meetings, and our surplus. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second? Joe. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 4-0. Okay. Public participation. Dr. Thomas, have we received any requests for public participation at this board meeting?
No, sir, we have not.
Okay. All right, we're down to board comments, and Dr. Thomas, I think you had something that you wanted to say at this point.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we do have some high school folks with us tonight. We have one of our counselors, Tara Joyce, and one of our students, Maddox Ray. One of the things that we put in place this year at both the high school and at our junior high is a program called Sources of Strength, where essentially you've got kids working with other kids and supporting other kids and trying to encourage other kids. And so we've asked Tara and Maddox to say a few words about how that's gone this year. So at this time, if you want to come up, please, Tara and Maddox.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. I'm Tara Joyce. I'm one of the school counselors at Pickens High School, and I have Miss Maddox Ray with me today. She's been wonderfully helpful in getting Sources of Strength up off the ground at the high school. I will leave it to Maddox to go over it, but it is basically having adult advisors and peer leaders to create a more welcoming and helpful culture at the school, and so we held a training and we've had what they're called campaigns. So Ms. Ray will take it from here.
Okay, thank you. Sources of Strength is an evidence-based and best practice program designed to harness the power of peer and social network to change unhealthy norms and cultures, eliminating, preventing suicide, bullying, and substance abuse.
That's right. Sorry, you want to lower the mic a little bit?
Oh,
yeah.
You're good. You're fine.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Sources of Strength seeks to mobilize a group of powerful peer leaders to spread the message of hope, health, and strength throughout the school and community. The goal of Sources of Strength is to strengthen multiple sources of strength, protective factors, and young individuals so that when times get hard, they can leverage their strengths. The mission of Sources of Strength is to empower the word and prevention harm behaviors by increasing help-seeking behaviors and promoting connections between peers and caring adults. A part of A part of the Sources of Strength program involves peer leaders using their own pictures, videos, voices to create hope, health, and strength posters, audio messages, videos, and social media content to impact the positive change social norms and behaviors. The media approaches is a powerful part of positively impacting school culture. The core of what we are trying to do is to make hope contagious, to make help seeking accessible, and build connections and belonging among other students and adults. On Friday, March 1st, 80 students and 12 teachers volunteered to attend a long day training session at Pickens High School in order to learn what it takes for students and peer leaders, what it takes for students to be peer leaders and adult advisors. We learn about connecting peers to trusted adults in the school and about the importance of learning about the connections into strengths during tough times. We also learn to be a connector to help how to be a great agent of change in our school and community. Sources of Strength provides a flexible framework for students and teachers to work together to promote positive school culture. After our initial local training, we split into groups and we had our first meeting as peer leaders and adult advisors to plan campaigns focusing on various aspects of Sources of Strength on the wheel, including physical health, mental health, family support, positive friends, spirituality, generosity, mentors, and healthy activities. For instance, several small SOS groups joined efforts to incorporate an SOS campaign to help with already existing kindness campaign that 11th grade Miss Abigail Barber created as a member of the state school Superintendent Richard Woods Student Advisory Counselor. Beta Club also served as a co-sponsor. For 1 week, students collected mandatory donations during lunch. Also, depending on the level of donation, students received a rubber duck or a duck sticker. Duck posters and small ducks were used to symbolize through the school to advisory. The SOS campaign, the money was then used to purchase personal hygiene products like toothbrushes, body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, toothpaste, and lotion. These products were all placed in small packages and are now available for students who experience a need, especially our weekend snack pack students. The campaign raised $256.55. Next school year, we hope to increase the student engagement in SOS campaigns and continue to spread the message of hope, health, and strength at PHS. Thank you.
Somebody remind me ahead of time next year and I'll have some change for you.
Thank you, Tara, and thank you, Maddox, for doing that. I love some of the things they said there about making hope contagious, connections and belongings, and we appreciate Pickens High School for helping us with Sources of Strength this year. In July, we'll have somebody from the junior high to speak with us about their experience with Sources of Strength. So, Tara and Maddox, thank you again.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other board comments?
At the risk of embarrassing a dear friend, I want to wish everybody a wonderful summer, and it's great to see a distinguished PHS alumnus back there in the rear of the room. I see she's home from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Former national champion FFA and an honor graduate, Emma Long. Welcome home for the summer, Emma.
Thank you.
Hey, just want to say, I think kudos to Ms. Wilson. I noticed our new website is up and it's available on the phone, and it looks great. And we're really excited about that and how that's going to be utilized over this next year. Thank you for all your work on that. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Hello. Second.
Joe, Tommy. All right, and any discussion? All in favor? 4-0.
Was this where I'm supposed to ask Dr. Thomas if he was going to play
No, no. All right, we're adjourned at 6:47 PM. Thank you all for being here.